Mobi biara kwa ba aside ba daily updates so message so ba so a modern no subscribe to channel na after like video no share na wadwenche so betim dia ba comment box nim na ebejebre na ya kind dia ma na asembia Tema port kame akoye se ebedru election year bia nkrofo import to eba Ghana hanom na we na nkrofo bisa se nti ehefo na eye import set we because any police phone waka say be we dey police food to and say soldiers food to our my dey import your modeba and no sa no cry embasa enrada omo ho no ma omo ko bie container bi mu uko Tema port omo ko bie container bi so ti container no mo bie so no mo say bags bi no mo si there bi we dey my mbibiem na hwa ade ko e bags mu custom officers EBB bags mo mo say eye tuo nkoa na yapake egu bags mu etuo nkoa different type of tool just say almost say pistols on coin wom coin almost 57 as say I home bullets ne just say weapons different like kai ka ho nti na omo bisa say etwe ma dwene si ade bi so no mse dabi ya wahanom na MPP ni NDC for so mo ko peace walk na peace walk no MPP ni bi ko twi tuo yo omo de omo nka se omo suspect se ebia NPP ana se NDC de but nchimo efiri mo ba no nto mo bisa se nti sankofo no mo aye omo nya tuo no wahenfa because on jindi se sankofo omo ko akototuo no ya register mo ejuma be na wo ye wo tuo no de koyede me pesa obeka mo ho na yakoti particular audio we a GR boss any Custorms mpenyufo yi de beto abontini nchirimu efi asem mobile ne ba de obi de beto am so me ma WếHNS say dem sika cho no subscribe to your channel no na afi wadwenche so betimi de ba comment box nim ne bejebre na ya kind dem out yenkoti this particular audio say
contained in a 40-foot container has been intercepted by the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority at the Tema Harbour. Now, the content of the container seized by the authority includes 53 pistols, 65 pieces of live ammunition, 74 magazines, and a PC holster at the Golden Jubilee Terminal of the port or at the Tema port. Now, Brigadier General Zibrim Ayorogo is a commissioner of the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority. He addressed the media on this matter earlier today. Take a look.
It is worthy of note that all importers requiring to import firearms and ammunition into the country must first obtain license and permit from the Ministry of Interior before the import. Any person who therefore import firearms and ammunition without the requisite license or permit commits an offense. The smuggling of weapons and ammunition poses a significant threat to national security and public safety. Such illicit activities fuel criminal enterprises, escalate violence, and endanger innocent lives. Engaging in illegal importation of arms and ammunition is also a criminal offense punishable by the laws of Ghana. The Customs Division remains vigilant to counter all illegal activities and to ensure public safety.
And look, we're going to show you that in almost every election year and immediately after a particular election year, in this country at least, with precedents in mind, we've had these instances of ammunitions being impounded by the Ghana Revenue Authority. Now, we're going to show you videos of what was impounded earlier today as we go on the screen right now. But this is it. Here's what we monitored. In the year 2020, something of a sort happened. And before today, you already do know, the Ghana Police Service had been reporting of, and we saw the videos of some persons brandishing weapons during that peace walk that led to a clash between MPP and NDC supporters in the Mamobi area, if you recall, just about a month ago. Now, in September 2021, GRA same incident that was reported today, seized arms and ammunition at the Tema port, September 2021. The Preventive and Counter-Terrorism Units of the Customs Division of the GRA seized some arms and ammunition at the Golden Jubilee Terminal at the Tema port. And it is the same Golden Jubilee Terminal that this latest cache of the ammunitions have also been impounded as we speak. 40-footer, the same incident. The items contained in 2021, what was impounded was in a 40-footer container, same as what we got reports of today, included 9 size arms, pistols, 8 assault rifles, 219 pieces of live ammunition. Look, the story doesn't change, okay? If you hear what happened today, or what was reported today by the GRA, and you look at what happened in 2021, the script is almost the same. It's just that the content is probably very different. But they went through the same area, the same Golden Jubilee Terminal. It was impounded and by the GRA in the same 40-footer container. That was happening in 2021. Not just that. I want to look at what is happening today as well with this same report that the GRA has given us. The same Golden Jubilee Terminal, 74 magazines and a PC holster, 65 live ammunition, and also 53 pistols. That's the side arms. In 2021, the pistols were not 53, they were 9. Now you think about it. What exactly would lead to a situation like this? And especially because we are concerned about the security going into this election. Dr. Victor Doke is a security consultant. He's a lecturer at the Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Training Center. He's been watching this space quite closely. Dr. Doke, thank you for joining us here on Ghana Tonight. I mean, with the heightened security situation ahead of the election, some 17 days away from today, and you hearing this and having precedents in mind, how does this strike you?
Thank you very much, Alfred, and good evening to all viewers. I think this is the height of it in terms of very worrying, and it's getting scarier with regards to the precedents in the context of illegal weapons. When you look at the armed robbery at Abraka, the brandishing of weapons by political, party gangs and all of that. With this, kind of cache that has been confiscated or seized by the customs tells us that there are some people behind this, apparel event. And the quicker we put together intelligence, coordinate with regards to security services and get these perpetrators to book, the better it will be for us. Because this only heightens the tensions. When you look at just some few days to the elections, the purpose for which these arms were brought in is actually mind-boggling. What is it for? And how does one person or how does a group of people tend to import, illegal weapons without even notifying the appropriate quarters? Then this tells you that there is something in the offing. And let me just commend the Customs Division for doing a good job with the Major General who has come out to, clearly give indications about the do's and the don'ts with regards to, importing weapons in the country. And then they should hold on to their guard and then do the appropriate thing and let no other persons, whether high, political figures who are, maybe be involved in this thing, have their way. And then we can trace it, we can trace the arms, we can trace the serial numbers, and then get those who even bought the arms over there and then get the perpetrators to book. But this is very worrying, Alfred, with regards to the proliferation of small arms and light weapons already in the system, which we haven't had any antidotes to. Now, when you look at every election, cycle, this thing keeps on recurring, as you have rightly stated. So it brings to the question, what actually is the motive of, people who intend to bring weapons in? Is it just to cause chaos? Is it just for the purposes of what? To satisfy the political masters or bidders? What is it actually going to do? And I think from now on, what can be done extensively with regards to customs especially is to, tighten their checks, intelligence, get more scanners, get more equipment to scan containers that comes in, capacity building for these officials to, get to know intel, whatever that is coming in before even it arrives in the country. And I think when we do that, we can be sure that we are heading somewhere, and then we can rest assured there'll be some level of peace with regards to.
Well, but there's been instances where these ammunitions, albeit we have to commend the Customs Division, at least with the previous instances I made reference to, but there have been instances where these ammunitions find their way out of the ports. You remember the cachet that was impounded around the Achimota area, just about some 7 years ago. So some of them will slip out. So beyond the measures that will be put in place at the entry point, what other measures, in your view, should be implemented or instituted to ensure that if they get into the system, it will be identified?
Well, that's what we have, from the process of acquiring weapons, getting the permit from the Ministry of Interior, you import the weapons. Now, when the weapons get in, these weapons are checked by Customs, the security agencies, NIB, and the other intelligence bureaus, the national security, and the police all get involved in checking the weapons. Now, whoever is importing the weapons will have to be also, taken through some process before the weapons are released to you. It is not just released at a go. They would take you through the processes to know the purposes for which you imported the vehicles for it to be released to you. And then after that, the serial numbers of these weapons will be put in the system. So if the weapons get into wrong hands, they will be traced, and then you, the importer, will be arrested. So we have to have a very comprehensive system of tracing the weapons that come into the system. Other than that, then you are sure to have transfer of weapons when they sneak or are smuggled into the system. So I think the measures at the ports should be very stringent in that anybody who wants to import weapons, especially at this time, should go through a lot of checks before even the weapons are handed over. Other than that, then we'll just have problems on our hands. But if the weapons already get in the system, I am positive that with the checks at the ports, the serial numbers of these weapons that have been taken and input into the system, you will be sure to trace them. But then we all need to be vigilant. That is why we need to up our intelligence, apparatus to detect those weapons that are already in the system, and then come out with a comprehensive, process to retrieve these illegal arms through the Small Arms Commission that have, a lot of work to do in this regard.
And in fact, ahead of the 2020 elections, just around the same time, well, sometime in October 2020, and we're going to put that on the screen right now. If you recall, in October 2020, it was the same report of a container described on arrival at the Tema port as containing personal effects, household goods, and a cutting machine was flagged as red channel. After examination, 18 packages identified as restricted items were found in the container, and these 18 items included 436 pistols, 26 packs of that's the ammunition, and then also a pepper spray. The CID later said the pistols were gas guns, but from the security perspective, even if it was described as gas guns, it was certainly one for defensive purposes, is it not? Dr. Doke.
Yeah, so with that incident, now, with me not having much details with regards to the aftermath of that event, even if you have that quantity, it still calls for questioning with regards to the purpose of which it was brought into the country. But then, I go back to my earlier statement that we need to just have stringent measures that whoever wants to import weapons, no matter who it is, should go through the stringent processes of, getting the weapons before it is released. But for whatever purpose. Now, let's say, for example, the military or the police wants to acquire the weapons. They get the clearance from the Ministry of Interior. So when the weapons arrive, it is taken straight to the armory. And trust me, so these two institutions have a system of what? Marking the weapons, okay? Marking the weapons. So any other weapon that comes into the system, if not for the purposes of national security, should go through that stringent process before released to the importers or the owners.
Dr. Doke.
I think that's what I have to say.
This is one that we'll keep an eye on as well. Thank you. Thank you so much for your thoughts tonight.